Hey guys, it's Amber here with etrailer. In the past couple of years, working remotely has become ever more popular, and that includes working in an RV. So today we're going to talk about some of the pros and the gritty cons of working in an RV, and we're going to talk to one of our coworkers here at etrailer who has first-hand experience with adventuring in an RV, working remotely, and bringing her family along. So stick around for that, and without further ado, let's get into it. So first off are the pros, and these are going to be pretty obvious probably. You get to travel, you get to explore new area codes, you get to have these scenic views outside of your camper instead of staring at the same couple of walls under your fluorescent office lights. So you're going to have a lot more flexibility in your office area and the opportunities to get out and explore something more. Another pro is climate control. So you get to choose where you land or where you go. If you're somebody like me who hates the cold weather, you can chase the warm weather around the country. You don't have to stay in one place and wait for the weather to turn nice again. Another pro is minimalist living. You can really save money by just having a smaller space. You're not able to buy as many things and bring as much with you, so it kind of forces you to be a little bit more of a minimalist. You don't have to buy professional clothing to go into the office, so you can also save money there, just having more casual clothing. Another pro is a customizable work environment. So you are not stuck by the really obnoxious printer with people running by you all day. You're not stuck by the smelly bathrooms at work. You get to choose your view, your desk setup. You get to choose when and how and where you work. So obviously there are a lot of pros that come with working remotely in your RV. So it's not all going to be those beautiful Instagram-worthy photos that you see online. There are going to be some drawbacks and some difficulties to working remotely, especially in an RV. So one of the biggest problems that you might run into is tech considerations. So here at etrailer, we're lucky enough to have an IT department right down the hallway from us if we run into problems, but out on the road, you're not going to have that. Chances are you're going to run into some kind of tech difficulty at some point. Definitely consider campgrounds with Wi-Fi service or have a cell booster. Just make sure that you can access the work that you need to when and where you need to. The other drawback that kind of comes along with being technologically connected all the time is that it can make work-life balance a little bit difficult. This is always going to be a challenge with working remotely. Sometimes it can be hard to shut down your laptop at the end of the day and not answer that one more email. So again, it's really important to have boundaries and consider that work-life balance while you're working remotely on the road. So some other potential drawbacks are travel time. If you are moving from place to place, you're on the road a lot, you're going to have to figure out how to work that travel time into your normal work week, and that can be kind of rough to do. Another thing is potential distractions. If you're traveling with kids or pets, or even if you just happen to pull into a campsite next to a noisy neighbor, or there's campsite construction going on around you, you don't have that controlled office space, so you might have to deal with some potential distractions out there on the road. Another thing is the lack of connection with your coworkers. So working remotely is going to be a challenge no matter what. Something that I really enjoy personally is coming to work and seeing all my coworkers and all my teammates. It's a really great experience for me that I wouldn't want to give up. So that's just something to consider if you're working remotely, especially in an RV where you're very far away from everyone around you. So we've gone over a lot of pros and cons, and it's important to understand what you're getting into when you make the decision to go remote in your RV. So to help give a little bit better insight, here we have Kristin, who has some first-hand experience that she's going to share with us. So Kristin, can you tell us what you do? Can you tell us a little bit about the pros and cons of your experience working on the road?
Sure. Hey everybody, I'm Kristin, and I work on the marketing team here at etrailer, and this is actually my camper. So my husband and I took our 2 kids out. It was kind of during COVID. We were working remotely. We thought, well, we should, try this out. And they were 2 and 4 at the time. So it was definitely an adventure to work and take kids and see the country. So I think if I was going to start with the cons, or the things that were challenging about it, was making sure your camper is set up to always have good cell signal so that you can work, log in, have meetings, calls, things like that. And kind of had to make a few adjustments to our camper to feel comfortable that we were always going to be able to work when we needed to. So we added a cell phone signal booster, and we had to get a device that kind of had extra data that we used throughout our trip to make sure that we could do our calls without having a ton of overages. And then the other thing is just like planning your campsites. Like you need to know that you're going to have coverage where you are. And if you're staying in big cities, that's fine. But we were kind of hoping to go to some more remote places. So just trying to research your campsites and figure out like how much cell signal am I going to have. Some of the web campsites will tell you, like the BLM sites will tell you like how good is the cell signal? But you kind of need to keep that in mind, and you can't get to those really off-roady, adventurous places or, you know, during the week if you've got to be working and you got to be connected. So it's just something to think about. Also with like the little people, like who's getting to work when, and like juggling the schedule was a little bit hard. So one of us would always get up early and take the early shift, but that person was always having to work outside the camper while breakfast and everything else was going on in here. So yeah, it wasn't exactly like we imagined. Like we're doing lots of work at a picnic table outside and things like that, but it worked out. It worked out. And then like, it was amazing because your office was wherever you wanted it to be. So that was really fun. And working at eTrailer, this is specific to us, but got to see all the cool setups everybody had. So it made working fun. And then, you know, in the downtime with the kids, you got to go like do a hike or go explore a city or do something that you wouldn't be able to do if you were kind of working from, you know, one home base all the time. So I think, yeah.
So all things considered, would you do it again?
No, I would not do it again. I would not do it again with really little kids with 2 working parents. That part was really hard to juggle and quite stressful because we both wanted to do a good job, but also take advantage of being out and about. Yeah, and they were little. They needed attention, and they, you know,
2 full-time jobs.
You're working 2 full-time jobs. Yeah, I was just thinking about that, right? Like, also, something I didn't mention was planning your adventuring and working and moving. There's moving days when you're out on the road, and your moving day is going to be during the week. Like, can you take calls on the road without your kids yelling in the background? Like, or, you know, you're going 3, 4, 5, 6 hour drives at a time, or at least we were. Or do you need to do those drives on the weekend when you're not working so you can be plugged in and do that on the weekend? So yeah, between the kids and the work and planning where we were going next, all of that, it was a lot to juggle. So it wasn't for me with the little kids. So I would love to do this again, but not working.
Maybe when they're older.
Maybe when they're older, yeah. So
thank you for sharing your experience, Kristin.
yeah, of course.
So those are just a few of the pros and cons that we have for you guys today. If there's anything that you've run into working remotely or you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. We're only a click or a call away, and we'll see you next time. If you guys like that content and want to check out our next video, go ahead and click this button over here. If you'd like to subscribe and check out the videos by our other teams here at eTrailer, go ahead and click this button over here. And if you want to just keep learning more about this topic, go ahead and check out our playlist over here.